Shalom again. Here's some more wild plants that we have sort of same in the vicinity. This first one, make sure you can get this flower in there. It has a really crazy looking flower. These ones are about halfway down. They have these deals here sticking out of this little pod. That's one of the excellent ways to identify this particular plant, but obviously you can only get it when it's flowering. It has a square, kind of a square stalk. And you can see these leaves, they grow right across from each other. They're two leaves across and the stalk's square. It starts off small with sort of a purplish tinge. What this is it's wild bergamot, but if you crush it up and smell it, it has a lot more, especially when it's young and tender. It smells a lot like an oregano, some sort of an Italian seasoning, and so you can use it in your spaghettis and things. That's what we use it for when it's small and young and tender. And then when it gets bigger, it sort of turns, I mean, it's still kind of like that, but it's good. It's a seasoning. It's a spice. This little teeny tiny guy, you'll see this everywhere. It looks like clover, but the leaves are in the shape of a heart. This is lemon sorrel. It's, you just eat it, and it just tastes like lemon. Also, right in here, we have a few instances of Korean sesame, which somewhat appears to be like a mint. It has a dark purple underside. This is actually pretty small. We have it growing gangbusters in other areas, huge. It's an interesting smell. It's kind of like licorice and lavender, sort of, kind of like that's what it'll remind you of. And you can eat it, and you can use it, you can kind of ferment it a little bit in some soy sauce for a day or two and use it to eat your rice with. It's a great thing in bulgogi. It's edible and it grows all over the place.
And when you get the seeds, it's sesame seeds.
Right, and if you let it grow up and go to seeds, it's sesame seeds. Right here, this fuzzy plant is called mullein, and it has lots of uses. In its raw form, this is actually also a small version. This stuff will grow really large as well. It's fuzzy and kind of a fleshy leaf. And so you can use it for a bandage, you can use it to cover up a wound, you can use it for toilet paper. It also has medicinal uses. You can take it and dry it and then infuse it into an oil, and it's good for things like earaches. You can dry it out and smoke it for bronchitis, and apparently you can make it into a tea and use it for other ailments, but I'm not sure right off the top of my head what those ones are. What was the other one over here? Oh, yep. And then come right over here. These are plants that are more definitely for eating, somewhat. This is plantain.
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
Okay, this one's plantain. It's also called miner's lettuce. This is an enormous variety of it. Most of the time you'll see it in your yard, and the leaves will be maybe this big total. They're a roundish leaf, and they have the ribs that go down through them. This is excellent as a poultice. You kind of like in the movies when you see a Native American, you know, and he reaches down and he kind of chews it up and sticks it on his wound. That's this stuff. You chew it up a little bit, and then you can use it for like rashes, small wounds that you have, anything like that. It's very good for healing. You can also eat it, like as a green, like collard greens or whatever, and especially these ones that are really big would be good for that. And then right next door, here's some more of that Korean sesame. But this plant is called curly dock, and it's also a green. It's like a collard greens or a spinach or something, and it has these little seeds at the top that when they dry out, they're one of those coffee substitutes.
Actually, I
like
think this
chicory.
is this curly dock too?
Yeah, it's curly dock.
Okay.
Yep, this is curly dock.
Yep.
These are small versions. Oh, here it is. Here's a big version. These are all those seeds. When you let this dry out, you can grind it up and use it as flour, or you can kind of parch it and use it for a coffee substitute. I just like to use it as a green. I like to eat the leaves. You fry them up. They're good. And I can come over here and show you a giant version of curly dock, because it gets really big. There's a small version. Here's a bunch of Korean sesame. But this is what your curly dock can look like. This one leaf right here would feed, well, it would feed a small child. But this plant would definitely feed a family. And curly dock, if you can recognize this, it grows all throughout the Midwest. It's a great plant because it first pops up like in March, and it has multiple iterations. It grows up, it lays more seeds, and this thing will be going, and you can eat it all the way through September. All summer long you can eat this stuff. Multiple plants. Kind of a wavy leaf, smooth on the outside, and I'm sure it also has medicinal properties. I just don't know what they are. Shalom.